Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. I am in my winterport yard. One of the last yards I have any honey supers on the hive because I had some honey flow through the month of September, and I now have to make sure I get my honey supers off so I can finish feeding any colonies that may feel a bit light after the honey supers have come off. We have got feeders on some of the other hives which did not have honey supers on and were already light. But now what I've got to make sure is I take the honey supers off the remaining hives and just top up any brood chambers that don't feel entirely full. Generally speaking, any hives that had honey supers on had a reasonably full brood chamber already. But those that have a single brood chamber, they may still need some topping up because they might have 2 or 3 frames of brood still emerging in them. So we will try doing it a slightly different way this year. I don't mean this year. What I mean is I'm gonna my last video showing me taking honey off the hive. Some folks recommended using a leaf blower, and I thought, yes, I'm going to invest in one of those. So I'm going to give it a try. I've got this simple Ryobi leaf blower. I'm wondering if it's going to be strong enough to blow the bees off the frames, but if not, maybe I should have got a stronger one, but we shall see. So it's going to be a new experiment for me today. See what it's like to blow the bees off the frames as opposed to using escape boards or fume boards. Let's see how it goes. This one only has a fair few honey supers on. I'm going to try and keep it calm, and if we're successfully blowing the bees off, we're going to try and blow them off right here at the entrance of the hive so they find their way back in again quite quickly. Super doesn't have a great deal of honey yet. About 4 frames here. Let's see how it goes. Well, I'm not impressed. This leaf blower does 100 miles per hour. I think it's 285 cubic feet per minute, and I think there were some quite a bit bigger ones that I could get. This was on sale at Home Depot for $119, but I don't think it's going to be man enough for the job. Okay. What will this have to do? wound tight now. That was a frame full of honey, I'd smash the frame. Brushing bees off really ticks them off. One thing about it is these feel outdone. At any rate, they're not getting all agitated. It seems that it's like when you're doing a colony removal. It seems that when you're using a vacuum there, the bees know when they're outgunned. So I've probably still got 50 bees in here, but that's better than a super full. Let's see if it works better with the honey super as opposed to a D. Nope. Still just blowing a few off. Move to this side. You want to get a clear shot of them. They're still getting bees on there. So, 100 miles an hour, 285 cubic feet a minute. It's clearly insufficient. sufficient for this work. Maybe you can leave comments below and tell me the size or the piece of equipment you use for it. I like the idea. Not that much honey in here. I think I'm going to leave them this honey. Make sure I don't have to feed too much. One of the honey supers plus what's in the brood chamber, that leaves it right now about 60 something pounds. So give them a bit more and they should be good. Let's look at some more. Whoa, another hive. See how that one looks. The leaf blower certainly did stuff the stuffing out of them a bit. Different orientation, maybe that'll do something. Sorry, that appears to have been a waste of 118 bucks. 19 bucks. We shall see. Hopefully they'll change it. I had visions of falling in love with this leaf blower. frames that have lots of uncapped honey on them, I will be taking into my honey kitchen and putting it in a room with a dehumidifier, and I'll be blowing air over them. And if they need it, that is. Sometimes you'll find that the uncapped honey is actually all right to harvest if you check with the refractometer. However, as a rule of thumb, it isn't quite ready, and so depending on what my readings are with the refractometer, if we not need to have it down to about 18%, well then what I'll do is use the fan and the dehumidifier in the room, and that will do a good job of getting the honey right down to the level it needs to be so it can be extracted. Always do it before you extract it rather than after you extract it. It's very hard to get the honey out of the get the water out of the honey if it's in a 5-gallon bucket. That ain't gonna do it. You need the surface area of all this comb. To be perfectly honest, I'm amazed how cooperative the bees are being. They may not be moving because of the vacuum, but I thought they would be all over me aggression-wise. But I'm not seeing any significant fight back at this point. Long may that continue. Whether that's because they're Saskatraz, whether it's because blowing the air on them scared them, who knows. Okay, this way. honey in there, and it's getting near the end of September, so I've got to be sure I'm leaving good deal in. So they're getting a shallow super of honey. That's expensive feeding. Should have taken this off a week ago so I had more time to feed him. But I had fair on, so it was a bit tricky. Right now, we seem to have a reasonably good aster flow on. There's a lot of different white and purple asters in bloom. And we've got a weather forecast for the next 10 days, which doesn't show a frost, at least down here. And that should mean that we've got a honey flow on for the next 10 days or so. So I'm pretty hopeful that we're going to get a good deal of natural nectar coming in, but we're going to feed the heck out of these gills as well. And if we do get a super flow, well, maybe I can take some of these supers off after all. But right now, I'd rather leave them on just in case we get short. But one thing there's absolutely no need to do is have a hive die of starvation. No need for that at all. We've still got time to feed, and we've got the choice of leaving honey on the hive. With this method, once the bees start getting into the robbing mode, Look how quickly they're finding the honey here. So these are getting into robbing mode. I probably don't have much longer to remove honey before it's all over the place. I think what we're going to do now is just feed the hives and come back for honey for the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got about 7 more honey supers I can remove. So I think I'll do that later today or tomorrow. I'm going to let this yard calm down a bit first. In the meantime, get some feeders on. So that's it at the moment. Putting things away. I've got some plenty of robbing going on right now, so I've got to get moving. And if I move in a few short stops, bees fly back home and they don't know where the truck is because I've moved on. So I've got half of the honey supers off, a bit more than half, and I'll be coming back for the others. I've done the feeding of the ones that need feeding, and we'll move on. So at least I'm getting a few £100 more honey, but it's all winding to a close, and I'm going to go and see if I can get a new replacement for that leaf blower, which was certainly not man enough for this job. So let's see if we can get a replacement. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.